All right. Good evening. Good evening. This is the CSRN podcast, or our weekend review, where we come to you live every week and talk about the things that we've done last week, some of the things that we're working on right now, and a few things that's coming up in the future. What we're going to do right now, as always, is play our intro video, and we're going to be right back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, the other thing that we've got to come to see now that many of us didn't see too well during the last 10 years, that is that racism
not guilty
is still alive in American society and much more widespread.
Broke his neck after Baltimore police.
A handful of protesters, a handful of criminals and thugs who...
Many in moments of anger, many in moments of deep bitterness, engage in riots. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention.
Mr. Gray's death was a homicide.
The Negro was freed from the bondage of physical slavery.
The athletes marched onto a stage.
But at the same time, the nation refused to give him land to make that freedom meaningful. Freedom without land to cultivate. Freedom and famine at the same time.
And create jobs for our people.
Negro is to be free. He must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with a pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own Emancipation Proclamation. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful. Individually, we are poor when you compare us with white society in America. We are poor. Collectively, we are richer than all the nations in the world with the exception of 9. That's power right there if we know how to prove it. We begin the process of building a greater economic base. And at the same time, we are putting pressure where it really hurts. We don't have to argue with anybody. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country. Say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. We come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you're not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. And our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. We mean business now, and we are determined to gain our rightful place in God's world.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, or our weekend review. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I use the pronouns he and him, and I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN and also a registered member of the Nation of Islam here in Toledo. And I got some news that happened this past weekend that we want to share with you. And today, what am I wearing? I've got black on black on black, my black vest, my black shirt. It's kind of a sweater shirt. Got an old school leather cap today, all right, because when I got up, it was got some frost outside, and my brown rim glasses. And as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. This is the home of Black Lives Matter and Justice or Else. We have a dynamite show today, and also got my beads on too. We got a dynamite show. We've got Jody that's going to do some intros. We got Anika Fields. She's going to be in the green room as soon as the tech team sends her the link. So, Anika, if you're watching, hey, listen.
We were expecting you in studio, but, we got the message from the tech team who does not get their sugar cube this week.
Right, absolutely. So, hold tight. We're going to send you that link, and we're going to have her pop in and talk about our month of gratitude that we got coming up. Hey, listen, that's who I am. Jody, could you do your intro? And then after your intro, your Black Lives Matter moment. And then we're going to get right into our commercial break and come back with Anika.
What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth, the treasurer of this wonderful organization. And for those of you that may be listening right now or later, because, work, commute and stuff, we describe ourselves so that way you have an idea of who's talking to you on the other side of this screen that you probably should not be watching if you're driving or doing anything that requires your full attention. But I am a big brown bear of a man that is covered in tattoos and crystals and stones and bones and artifacts from traveling, from believing in myself, writing books, doing films, and all of that stuff that involves life. That is what I wear, the people that I met in this life, the places that I go. I do have some extra pieces on, just a couple of extra, because today being All Hallows Eve and all that stuff, some people celebrate it, some people don't. I, for the rest of my life, get to be my character, which is Sage, a character based off of me who is a voodoo priestess, wise man in a movie called Clowneck. I'm not dead yet, so hopefully get a couple movies in there.
Because you know how that go. All right, first 5 minutes.
I know it. That's what I was thinking about as we were wrapping up and stuff. I'm like, I'm the Black guy that survived in the horror movie, and that's awesome. So but yeah, that's coming out. It already had a short premiere at Mommy Theater, and that's kind of why, I got a couple extra bobbly bits. I have my jacket over there that's part of the ensemble, but the hat is in the movie. And that's a little bit about me. For those of you wondering out there, I'm also wearing a Boom the Bomb shirt. You can't really see it under all this stuff, but shout out to him. He's one of the mentioned people in my last book, along with Brother Washington and stuff like that. So you're in the library. All right. Where we are as they roll out the red, black, and green carpet for us.
As always.
And I actually have blue on. I'm black on blue on black on blue with red, black, and green. Because I always have this thing off and stuff like that. So you kind of get an idea of somewhat what I look like.
All right. So are we going to get into our mission statement?
And then we're going to get into so my Black Lives Matter moment is just the ability to stand in the face of injustice without fear. Knowing that there are actual people behind you, that your voice is not silenced in a way, which is something, unfortunately, we've lost since 2020, and people start thinking that people who had never been on a protest line, strategy meeting, or a phone call would do better because of their PhDs or so-called jargon on the front lines. We've learned. We've, again, evolved. There are still activist things going on. I'm going to be in Columbus week after next for a House bill and everything like that. And that is what my moment is, because getting into this, I didn't know none of this stuff. I know the difference between a senator and a councilman. I did, but still,
all right.
The process.
Which one lies the best? All right, I didn't. That's what they say. I didn't say it.
My thing on that now, because I am an elected official and all this stuff, I don't get a check. It's kind of like an alderman or whatever like that. But once you start, just as with your job, no matter what you do in life, once you start receiving a check, you have rules that you have to abide by, a code of conduct and stuff like that. Some call it lying, some call it bearing money to make sure the other generation. I said that.
All right.
But yeah.
All right, let's get into our mission statement. I'll come back with the guiding principles. We'll take a short break and then come back with our looking into our month of gratitude with Anika Fields and the Empowerment Toolbox. I should get another free book if I said it all like that. All right.
Well, we've got a lot of free things. If you could see our studio now, which at some point, probably during the commercial break, I'll figure out how to do that. Because normally when we have in-house guests, I get to do some behind the scenes stuff, which we are putting a reel together for the end of the year. So every guest that's been on this year, you might see yourself re-pop up on our page.
Okay.
But how do you get here? How does I guess you'd be so comfortable in front of the mic, in front of strangers who may or may not be watching currently at this moment. This is how. You have a mission statement and
our guiding principles,
which is like the foundation and the walls of a beautiful, strong building that will last for generations. Mission statement. We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often, police brutality goes without consequence and accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, yes, all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives, yes, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
All right. And my Black Lives Matter moment, right before we do our guiding principles, I think this goes back to maybe 2016, 2017, when all of the protest awareness activity was a really big thing. And we decided to occupy the corner of Cherry and Summit. One of the things about protesting is also disrupting the everyday flow of business of downtown in order to get their attention. And I think we had blocked the traffic, made ourselves known. And to this day, I'm sure there's some people still upset with us.
Yeah. All right. One of the first times I ever got caught on camera with a sign in my hand.
Absolutely.
It was a woman that worked at the Blade at the time that gave us a full-page spread back then.
That's right. And these are our guiding principles. All Black lives matter, queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, differently abled Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe.
Ashe.
And Ashe means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe.
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe?
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe?
Ashe.
Principal struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe?
Ashe.
Love, self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe?
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe?
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe?
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe?
Ashe.
Training and leadership should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe?
Ashe.
Hey, look, Jody, it is awesome to be able to have our own mission statement, our own guiding principles. We're not using anything that belongs to anybody else so that they can come back and get it at any time.
Our own funding.
Right. And we want to really, and one day, I guess we should just make a podcast to really just honor all of those and salute all of those that have helped
as
us.
Sponsors and stuff.
Right.
Which again, for events, bigger stuff we do, but mostly as you know, with the climate of everybody deciding who and how people get paid, we are self-funded. Me, myself, I became all of these things and stuff, a polymath, as most people know it, to help fund this. I'm not just, on camera or out at protest. My percent or tides or whatever you want to call it goes back into us.
Yeah, well, you better than me. I ain't giving us a dime. I ain't giving them a dime.
When you get successful,
all right.
you learn how to empower those that need it.
All right. Okay, I'll take that. Hey, listen, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back with Anika Fields and the Empowerment Toolbox. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. We'll be right back.
Did you know addiction is a disease, not a moral dilemma? The opioid epidemic and substance use have a major impact on communities of color and many people's lives. The Joshua Treatment Center offers culturally relevant, inpatient, and outpatient behavioral health treatment and recovery support services to any Ohioan struggling with addiction, mental health, or finding sober-safe housing. We must recognize that treatment is available and accessible to all. If you are in need of treatment or want to find out more information, you can call 1-888-728-2713 to talk to someone or schedule an appointment.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast or our weekend review. You know what? I don't think that they took us off of the little box that's on the side. I'm sure we like our guiding principles. Right, we like the guiding principles. Those are all good. But can you guys please take the all right, great. Okay, now we're back. Hey, listen, this is the part of the podcast that I like the most. when we have our guests come in either virtually or physically, but today we've got Anika Fields. All right. So I hope you got your 3 things to be grateful for. All right. All right. Hey, let's bring her in from the green room and see what's going on with Anika. How you feeling, Anika?
Hello.
All
How's
right.
everybody?
We are doing fine. It's awesome to see you. Now, of course, we gave her name and everything before, but if you don't mind, could you tell everyone that may not know you, maybe their first time watching a podcast, who are you? Hey, what are you wearing? And what are we talking about today?
Absolutely. Well, thank you again so much to you, Brother Washington and Jody, for having me on. It's always nice to be with family. And yep, I'm Anika S. Field, still her. And today I am wearing a gold long sleeve shirt. I kind of got some white and black plaid pants on, and all set for this change in weather that we have today. So,
all right, next. So, what are we talking about today? I know we mentioned it. We also put it in as a thumbnail clip for our podcast. November's coming up, and what is the significance of November?
yes, November is right around the corner, or one more sleep, as we would say in my household. And the significance of November and me being here to share with you all tonight is that November is National Gratitude Month. And I had the pleasure to be on a couple weeks or so ago.
That's
and
right.
Came on to share some tools to help put some resources in our toolboxes, because as activists, as community leaders, as people of color, and even our allies that are watching as well, this work is not for the weak. So
That's right.
We need things to help rejuvenate ourselves and help to have us continue to be well, or to be able to decompress from some of the challenging things that we see and experiences that we have, myself included. So I am the author of a journal called 30 Days of Gratitude Journal, which I have here. And we talked a little bit about the science of it and everything. And the challenge and the tool in it is just taking the time to write down 3 things per day that you're grateful for 30 days. So we're going to start that off tomorrow. You guys ready with your journals to start tomorrow?
I am ready. I don't know about Jody, and I normally throw him under the bus in order for myself to shine.
I write about 12 poems a week.
Jody, you ready?
I write it. I have something similar to that while I was doing the childhood trauma series.
Okay, but I don't think that's an answer.
Okay,
I don't think that's an answer.
Well, I got your phone number.
That's right.
So, all right. Well, in any way, just for those who may have missed it, I talked a little bit about the science behind journaling. And one of the things is how it affects our brains when we're going through stress and or when we're in emotional challenges where we live day to day in survival mode. Gratitude journaling and gratitude in general, just being thankful for what you have or focusing on the things that you have, it actually activates the part of our brain that helps us reduce stress. And there's studies that show how it actually has contributed to the reduction of blood pressure by 10% for participants in a study that was done by the UCLA Mindfulness Institute. So this is a tool that we can use to help us decompress. It's also a tool that we can use to help us. And when I say a tool, I mean just use the practice of gratitude and the practice of journaling combined. It's tools that we can use to help us decompress, to make sure we are focusing on our mental health, and also to change our
That's right.
change our negative bias to just our frame of thinking. We're all predisposed to negative thinking. So just being
That's
able to
true.
focus on gratitude does so much for our health. And we want to give you different things to fill your toolbox to be able to help promote health and wellness, not only in our community, but all over.
Within our guiding principles, we talk about self-care, and we say that self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. And that's really important for those of us in the activist community and those of us that are part of the protest culture. I speak to activists regularly, and I think that's the often repeated thing that I have to go back to. Hey, listen, at one point, we got to take a break. At one point, we got to push back from the oppression table, and take some time for ourselves. And I tell people that there's still going to be more oppression tomorrow. We're not going to solve it all. We're not going to solve it all today. But I'm interested in knowing, how did you come into knowing about gratitude and some of these tools? What was it that made you interested in this?
Well, I would say the driving factor to me was being a survivor of hate crimes and social injustice in the area right outside of Toledo, where I live. My family and I experienced this for a few years, and it was not only in the neighborhood that there was racial intolerance, but there was systemic abuse that aligned with that and made it very challenging. And so I was focusing so much on trying to get justice and trying to make sure my family, my children were okay mentally. And we were building resilience that I kind of forgot about myself. And so I started to research some things to be able to use as self-care tools or strategies to help me deal with what I was dealing with, because I didn't recognize that I needed to deal with those challenges as well, and the way that it affected me as well. So I'm a research person. I looked at the research. I wanted to know, okay, what's this journaling thing? Why do I need to write something down? And so I oftentimes do go to research and look at these things, and I just found some amazing outcomes when it comes to the practice of journaling, the practice of writing things down, the practice of practicing gratitude, and what it does, in addition to affect our brain in the way to decrease stress levels, is writing things down helps us to be able to clarify our goals. It helps us to be able to shift the focus on what we do have, and then that brings more positive thinking, and it multiplies what we do have as opposed to what we don't have. So it's a coping mechanism that I researched and decided to try based on my experience in Swanton, and just in general, because it comes in every, every morning I wake up, I look the same. So it comes in just about every facet of light, and it's something that's really it's hard to hold, it's hard to handle. So creating and forcing yourself to make the time to care for yourself and being able to find out what tool works for you is something pretty amazing. So my challenge to everyone is to, for 30 days, starting tomorrow, 3 things a day, write them down that you're grateful for. You can write them down in a spiral notebook. You can go online, you can order one of our 30 days of gratitude journals and follow along with us in there. You can write it on the back of an envelope or sticky note. The most important thing is just to take the time to identify for 30 days those things, and measure the difference. See how you feel at the end. See how it impacts you, and see if it gives you some level of self-care that's good for you. And with that being said, I left questions for you guys last time I saw you. And so I'm really curious to know, and I'm gonna start with Jody. Jody, what 3 things are you grateful for today?
Look, see, I guess I get it now. Because so since I became an author, I don't ever stop really doing that stuff. So I guess the practice of I doing it as an unintentional action is different for me. But yeah, I wake up every single day and I'm grateful that I'm an author. I'm grateful that I have something that I fought for in life, whatever cause it is, that I've actually stood there on camera and not just typed what somebody else should do. And I'm grateful for my community. I'm a very interesting character, I guess you could say, but even though there are those that don't accept me, there are those still, they have no choice but to respect me because I'm not emulating somebody else or trying to steal anyone's identity.
Okay. That's all right. Oh, all right. You stepped up to the plate.
I love it. I love it.
That's
And what
awesome.
about you?
So,
Yeah,
I
what
was going
about
to
you,
go
Brother
to a
Mike?
commercial. I was gonna, well, I'm really glad that you found this, and I'm really glad that you're promoting it. Most of us only talk about this within our profession, and we don't expand it to the general community. The three things that I'm thankful for: I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for my job because I have a unique job that allows me to be Brother Washington on the job. That's my title, Brother Washington. And I'm thankful for my community people that I can talk to like minds, and I don't have to be the only one that thinks like this. I've got Jody, I've got you, I've got Haley Shears, who's going to be on in a couple of weeks. So many people, and Reggie Williams at the Doug. I can call him and say, "Hey, look, Reggie, I'm going through it," and he'll say, "Well, I'm going through it too. All right, bye." So I'm thankful for being able to have people that I can actually call that understand, and we could talk about some difficult things or being grateful for things without feeling judged, criticized, or condemned. So I'm really glad that you've done this. Did we get Anika's three things?
I see. He's bouncing the ball back.
No. Look,
Catching it. Okay.
I don't
Thank
know if I
you.
missed it.
You know, I have to say before I give you my three things, I'm really proud of both of you because oftentimes when we get that question, what are you grateful for? I hear a lot of materialistic things. And what I heard you guys say was family, was community, were things that were more valuable than what you can buy with money.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
yeah, I appreciate you guys for that. That's one of the it's one of the questions I do in the workshops, the gratitude journaling workshops, because it gets very interesting and then it gets very quiet and people have to really, really think about it. But going on to name the three things that I am grateful for today. I am grateful for my CSRN family because again, without your support, without your help, without you guys just truly caring about my family, putting yourselves out there on the line, standing up and saying, you know, no, this is not going to happen, and we're going to
Right.
advocate. And we, you know, I don't know where things. I might have been incarcerated by now, but
I think I would like to think somebody would have got hurt really bad. All right. I would like to
yeah,
think somebody would have got hurt really bad. All right. And we would have to come downtown and bring you smokes. All right.
then we've been doing GoFundMe's for bail and all that kind of stuff. So I'm
That's
grateful for
right.
you guys.
Yeah.
And then I'm also grateful for my family. I'm grateful that my children are healthy. And then something that I'm specifically grateful for today, and again, we're all family, so don't judge me.
All
I'm
right.
grateful for trees. And I'm grateful for trees because I don't know if you've ever just like touched a tree and just felt energy from the tree, like it was just pulling everything negative from you and refueling your cells and your body and just
Yeah.
pouring positive things into you. And in addition to that, the trade-off with trees, and we don't think about it, but we need the oxygen, they need what we don't need, so we just change off. And so and they're beautiful to look at. They're there through all seasons, so they're a constant. And I just love the beautiful, like right now, what we have going on, the beautiful changes in colors. So that's something that I try to challenge myself to think about, something that I'm grateful for that I may not always be thinking of. So that's my
Right.
one for that's my three, but that's my one non-traditional grateful thing, I guess I'll say, or non-common, I think I'll say. But yes, yeah, those are my three things. So
Hey, before you go, I wanted to put on the screen the Make Memories with the Mother and Daughter or Mother and Son journal. For the people that may be watching this for the first time, and why do they always put it over our faces? I don't know why they do that. All right. Well, why is
well,
that? So
you know,
where can they go ahead?
I guess we're gonna have to call Asa back in for the tech
I
support.
know, absolutely.
Yeah.
Where can they
Although
find?
he's out trick or treating right now. So yeah. But so to answer both of your questions there, I just want to share with everybody. I have a line of journals that I offer, and they're all to be used as tools to empower, to uplift, and to help us develop positive self-care,
Right.
self-care options or opportunities. And those journals are available on Amazon, and that's www.amazon.com/author/Anika S. Fields. And I'll put that up in the chat for you guys. I failed to mention that last time.
But was it on the okay, yeah, we got it right here. Hey, man,
Yep.
Captions, they picked that up
whoever
real
makes
well.
these flyers, these are some awesome flyers, and I need them to come in and help us with some of our logos to make them transparent so that we can, step it up just a bit. So I see it amazon.com/author/Anika Fields, and that's one word, Anika Fields. So if
Anika
you like,
S. Fields. So Anika,
Anika
and then
S.
S like Sam, F like
Okay.
Frank, and then IELDS.
Oh, we probably gave out the wrong website. Right,
That's okay. I'll put it in the chat as well. And then to answer your other question before I get out of here, you talked about these journals right here. These are two journals. This is the Mother and Daughter journal and the Mother and Son journal. And this is, again, something that was developed to use as a tool for empowerment, for strengthening your bond with your son or your daughter, and also helping to promote healthy emotional development, and also to help with communication skills. There's a lot of things that actually journaling back and forth with your child can do to improve the relationship with your child. It's for all ages, and it's also a really wonderful keepsake. So my son, at some point, he'll be back, and we're going to talk about it and talk about the impact. But yep, those are also available on Amazon, and I hope everybody either gets your notebook or gets your journal, so we can all start on this 30 days of gratitude challenge tomorrow, going from November 1st to November 30th, because we really, really want to improve our health and use some of the tools that we haven't really done a lot with in our community to kind of help us heal, to help us with self-care, and to help us to be able to refresh and renew.
Well, I want to start with some brownie points right now because I have my journal in my home office. Well, it's really the laundry room, but I'll call it my home office, and I'm ready to give write down 3 things that I'm grateful for every day. And I don't know if you're going to ask us to turn the journals in at the end of the month or not. If so, on the 29th, we'll start filling it all in.
No, the journals are, I'm sorry, Jody, go ahead.
I was gonna say also I'm laughing because I can hear the trumpet or air horn in the background, the music. So it just
you can hear what's going on upstairs.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I'm way down in the basement.
I'm not sure if the audience can hear, but I can hear because we got the headphones on and stuff, plus the captions and stuff.
Okay. I will keep that in mind for next time. I'm down in the basement. I thought we were safe.
No, but I can hear because I got headphones on, so we can hear like pin drops from everywhere. So even so, it comes in at good times, like when stuff is going on. So don't worry about it. That's life.
Yeah. Okay. Well, with the journals are yours to keep. They're a keepsake. They're also something good for you to reflect on. Look back and see how you were feeling, what you were thankful for. The positive affirmations is completely prompted, so it gives you a different sections on one page where you can just jot down a few different things. It takes maybe 5 minutes or so, if that. So it's awesome to look back on it and see how things have changed for you, or even your mind frame has changed after you look over it.
All right. Well, listen, we're going to go to a break. We're going to come back with our community shout outs and
awesome plants in the background.
Right. And top some loose ends. And listen, can you come back in a couple of weeks? Because next week we're off because next week is election day. If you could come back, and also I'll probably bring my journal just so you can see. I don't know what Jody's going to do. All right. And also,
I'm doing mine too. I'm doing mine too.
Okay.
Steve.
All right.
Yep.
And also, I think I texted you last night that let Asa know that I get my regular 3% based on whatever he gets tonight. All right.
He said that wasn't going to work for him, partner.
Well, we're gonna have to bump it up to 4.5%. All right.
I only take 1%, so you going 3? I don't know.
Okay, all right. Remember, let him know that's how he got that really nice iPhone. What's the iPhone 15 that he got? All right.
All right. Well, yes, I'd absolutely love to come back, and maybe we'll bring Asa next time so we can talk about those journals, the mother and son, mother-daughter journals.
That's awesome.
And then
all right,
from Japan while they're still around.
Oh yeah, yep, they're up there rocking out. Jody does not want you to go. Hey, listen, Anika, we are glad to have you, and we look forward to seeing you not next week, but the week before. Thank you so much, Anika. We will see you soon. All right. Thank you for having me. See everybody. And don't forget, tomorrow's the day. That's right. Family, this is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. We'll be right back.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call digital edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
Pathway Incorporated Brothers United program believes that children are important. Every day we support and advocate for fathers because when children have involved fathers, the whole community thrives. The fathers that come into the Brothers United program are mostly young fathers who are primarily gang members or drug dealers or those involved in lots of trauma from the time when they were youth until now. This program has fatherhood classes which teach you about your role as a father, the importance of being a father, healthy relationships, how to co-parent and work better together with your co-parent, and then economic stability, how to get a job, how to keep a job. It is so important for fathers to learn to take care of their children holistically, not just emotionally, not just physically, but financially as well, because children need a holistic approach.
I really just needed help with really being a better father and looking for a job to be able to support my kids.
Some of the problems I was facing when I joined Brothers United was communication with my children. Had some time apart from each other for a while, so they gave me the tools to really get back in communication with them.
Fathers will come into our program with their heads down. 2 weeks later, their heads are up. 3 weeks later, they're laughing and talking. 4 weeks later, they're building a bond. And by the time we get to 8 weeks, they're saying, hey, we want to stay here. What can we do to stay connected?
It gave me a better perspective on how to look at things from other people's point of view. You know, sometimes us as men, we get caught up in being prideful and arrogant, thinking we don't need the help. We do. And we just have to put our pride, selfishness, and arrogance to the side. And when the help is there, take it.
Hope plays the most important role in everything that we do because we have to have hope. We have to remember that fathers are important, and we have to not only say it, but we have to live it, we have to breathe it, we have to do it, we have to convey it to everyone.
Let's get a BU Nation on 3, fellas. 1, 2, 3. BU Nation!
The dads give us hope. The dads supply for us on the days when it gets hard. On the days when we've seen more violence than we ever want to see. On the days when we've lost some dads to jail or to murder, they give us hope. And so the hope that lives can change, if you invest in them, if you believe in them, then lives can change.
Brothers United changed my life, let's say, because of where I come from, what I've been through. I learned to understand it is help out there. Don't be scared to ask for it. If you don't reach, you can't grab. That's it.
They made me more employable, more desirable by employers, which in turn helped me provide for my family and provide for my children and my grandchild. So it makes me a better man, a better father, and a better example.
It showed me like how to be better to my kids, so I went and got custody of my son. My son been with me for a couple months now. So this showed me how to be a better parent all around, just a better man, period.
Initially, I didn't know that it could change men's lives. I didn't know that fathers could change. But it's amazing to me when fathers come back a year later, 2 years later, and tell us thank you. Or they'll make a Facebook post and say, look at what I'm doing now. It's amazing to me about the level of work that we've been able to do and the lives that we've changed in just a short period of time. And the fathers who come back and say, thank you, I needed you, and you were there.
And shout out to Brothers United, man. Be you.
All right, we are back. I don't know, I feel kind of a little fuzzy. We took a long break. I want to thank Anika Fields for coming in with the Empowerment Toolbox to talk about gratitude and how we can recenter. Hey, listen, what we're going to do right now is get right into our community solutions and shout outs. And these are some of the things that we were into last week. I wish I had my graphic for the NAACP Freedom Fund. I don't have that. Let's see. Give me 1 second. No, I don't have the graphic for that, but on Saturday, we got a chance to be with NAACP for their annual Freedom Dinner. Is it a Freedom Dinner? It's not a Freedom Dinner. Freedom Fund. All right, man. I know Anita Madison is going to have some words with me, but it's all good. But we got a chance to be with them this last Saturday at the Glass City Center, and got a chance to meet Jeff Johnson. Jeff Johnson has been on BET. I think he's on a Ricky Smiley morning show, and he does a lot of political commentary. A unique thing about Jeff Johnson is that when he was in college and we were planning a lot of community action or social justice action initiatives. He helped bring the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to Toledo. I think this was in 1994. So as always, when you're a freedom fighter, you want all the smoke, all of it. And that brother, as a young man, not only he was the president of the Black Student Union, but he was the president of the student government, all of it. So big shout out to him. Got a chance to shake his hand, embrace my brother, because we're about to embark on something else that's coming up. Let me bring up this graphic. Let's see if I got it here. Yeah, I do have it here. Also, last on Saturday, the Nation of Islam announced that it was launching a $5 billion lawsuit against the Anti-Defamation League and the Simon Wiesenthal Center. Somebody might ask, well, why would you do that? Well, there's this term called anti-Semite and anti-Semitism. And when that word is thrown around indiscriminately, it causes so much harm to a lot of our freedom fighters. So you might say, well, who is it harm? Well, Martin Luther King, Barack Obama, Oprah Winfrey, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Jesse Jackson, Elijah Muhammad, Julian Bond, and so many freedom fighters that have been labeled that because they push back on this non-liberal economic agenda that our former slave masters and our children wanted us to promote, when in reality we needed to do something for ourselves. So keep watching this. It's going to be in the media, often coming up real soon, about the $4.5 billion lawsuit against the ADL and the Simon Wiesenthal Center. So if you go to NOI.org, you could also download the complaint and all of the exhibits. I think that we had said that there's over 300 or maybe 300 to 500 pages of the complaint where we just listed all of the times this word was used and all of the blowback and damage that causes when only we're speaking out against policy. We're speaking out against wrongdoing. Has nothing to do with a person's religion, because there's Black people that practice Judaism, but you never see them coming up to us saying, hey, you can't talk about that. Well, we talked about the Klan, and they called themselves Christians. We talk about Al-Qaeda, all right, and they're supposed to be Muslims, but they indiscriminately murder, maim people. So we could talk about them, all right? So everybody could get it, so everybody can get it. If you do wrong, that includes myself too, all right? When we say we want justice equally applied to all, regardless of race, creed, or color, all right? So be looking out for that. And please go to NOI.org, see the complaint, see all of the evidence and all of the exhibits that we have to fortify our position on this. And this is a watershed moment that could free a lot of us from the fear of speaking out. We've asked for some dialogue in the past, that we come together and talk about this, all right? Because definitely we're against harming anybody, all right? Anybody. Matter of fact, I would stop someone from desecrating the church. I would stop someone from desecrating the Buddhist temple or Hindu temple or synagogue. Those are the houses of God, all right? And wherever a house of God is, hey, I feel at home there. So look out for that. This is a big moment in our history. And other than that, I think I wrapped up my part for that. And hopefully every week, as this historic case moves forward in the courts, we'll keep you up to date. All right. We want our people to be free. We want our people to be able to speak truth to power, regardless whom or what. All right. And it's our First Amendment right for free speech. So I shouldn't get criticized or condemned for having a legitimate complaint about a policy that's harming us. All right. So, hey, look, let me get off of that. What about you, Jody? We're on our shout outs and concerns and solutions. Anything that you've been a part of last week that, or some things that are coming up that you think we need to know?
Yep. Well, last week, as I always start off, we're going to go over some of the things that I may have been able to attend or that you could have possibly attended.
All right. That's
starting with Thursday. I believe I spoke about it last week on the show. There was the Open Expressions featuring Jim Zaleski at St. Paul's United Methodist Church. Wasn't able to make that. There were 2 events that night, but I was able to make the open mic poetry reading at Bucci Mama's. Got to see a lot of my friends, some people I haven't seen in a while, and perform.
All right, that's what's up.
That was awesome. As usual, got to see some more of my artwork in the form of posters that I did with the Lucas County Library in 2020, still up on the wall inside of their studio and everything. So that was awesome. They are thinking about having it being a once a month recurring thing. So shout out to Bucci Mamas for hosting it.
That's right.
Shout out to I'm horrible with names and stuff, but you'll see the full photo album eventually at some point in time on my page of all the other artists and performers that were there that night. Going further into the week, there was an open media training Saturday. That's what I was using my Saturday before my taxable to do by the Crime Survivors for Safety and Justice. Shout out to Daisha and Anton. We just had a media training. Basically, people that's never been in front of a camera or that get asked questions on camera, which, we're kind of good at that, how to do things in sound bites and to stay on message and not get off topic or put your emotions into it or just have them moments. So we went over that. We talked. I believe we have a meeting or a thing, let's call it that, in Columbus in 2 weeks. So the week after election, I'll be down there and support participation. And you never know, you might see me as one of those sound bites voicing my opinion on the House bill that we're going to talk about.
All right. I got to interrupt you early when we were talking about our intros and what you had on and what you're wearing. You're in a movie. All right. And that is something that we need to know about. And we do have a few minutes to unpack that.
So we did find the trailer?
No, we didn't find the trailer.
We found the trailer.
Oh, man. That was a wrong question. All right. What is the movie? What is it about? Because we're going to revisit this again because we're going to get the trailer. We want to show it. We up everybody else that comes on. We promote everybody else. All right. We the only ones we don't promote. True. All right.
Well, there's actually a couple of movies out that I'm in. One that you might have noticed or seen or heard of, Sons of Toledo.
Okay.
That one is now on PBS. It is an official, super official documentary on PBS. It premiered last Thursday at 8 p.m. So if you look at their scheduling and programming, you will find it in their normal lineup of shows, which I think is more than putting it on Netflix or Prime or some streaming service, because this means now it's a part of history. If they go bankrupt or belly up or not enough people subscribe, guess what? They're gone. But things like PBS, your library, Congress and stuff, that's going to outlast all of us in some form or shape. And I think that's more important if you have a documentary or a message to get out. So shout out Sons of Toledo. I know the director is talking about getting it on prime time. Needs water. But also the one that I am in, which I'm actually in character. Say, as I said at the beginning of the show, for every Halloween from this point now on, I can be in character. I ain't got to dress up and make up or somebody's identity. I can there we go. do that normally. So my character is named Sage. The movie's called Clowneck. It's about it's a Lovecraftian horror film. Basically, you know how you have zombies and stuff like
Right.
that, but this is done in a different way where it's music that turns people into like these crazed maniac killers, stuff like that. So
Okay. All right.
I
I'm
can't
feeling
tell
that.
too much about
I'm
it,
feeling
but
that.
if you search on YouTube, you can see the trailer, Clowneck with a K. So kind of like maniac and clown mixed with a K. And you can see the trailer, you can hear my voice, the detective. And again, I play Sage, which is like a voodoo priest, wise, knowledgeable guy that walks around the city and is trying to warn people of the dangers that are to come.
You was doing that earlier today. All right.
Exactly.
Hey, listen. But are we gonna do 5 minutes of heat after?
Yeah, I'm gonna do 5 minutes of heat, and I'm gonna rush through the other stuff. But shout out to Phil for getting the movie done. Shout out to Zillion for directing it. All the people, the cast involved.
Yeah.
Which leads me into my next segue of what was yesterday, Monday. We had the Film Toledo Halloween Mixer, which is the quarterly mixer for basically if you wanted to learn about screenwriting or acting or grip work or how to break into voice work and stuff like that. We had our mixer yesterday. I've been telling people for a little bit, but there are still going to be workshops. I believe the next one is going to be in November. So if you want to know anything about the filmmaking business, as we are an incorporated city where people can possibly get tax breaks for bigger films, and in an industry like this, it is kind of who you know, because it's better that I know some of your work. I know that you are capable to get in front of a camera, take lines, not be a super diva in your trailer and all that good stuff. Now, before it becomes oversaturated with everybody doing it. So that was fun. We had it at Toledo Spirits yesterday. I saw a lot of my friends. Shout out to everybody that I
That's
saw.
what's up.
Monique Ward, we've had her on the show before. She actually won second place in the costume prize contest. So shout out to you.
Oh, she didn't even text me any pictures. She normally
she came in storm, and shout out to Dougie Fresh, who is doing awesome video work for the city of Toledo and everything that goes on. I'm gonna have to have him on the show. Come on one time and just talk about his life behind the camera.
That's what's up. Hey, listen, if you notice something a little bit different about our lighting has gotten better. All right. If you notice something different about our sounds, our microphones, our logos on our microphones, a lot of this is due to some incredible people that help us out, because trust me, we do not know what we're doing week in, week out. As soon as we launch the podcast, we realize something's unplugged. Something's not right. So I want to shout out Ty Wills from Stay Beat Studios, all the way in Columbus. We had to talk about some of the equipment that we have, and I told him some of the challenges that we have, and he gave some solutions. So right now, our lighting is as best as it's ever been, and our sound, hopefully, after we record this, is
sound better.
Right. And also what we're going to get into soon is editing some of these, because we know, Jody, that it's hardly anyone that has a whole hour to watch something. All right.
We can do short clips of just the interviews or stuff like that.
All right.
I think that would be good.
All right. So, so we're trying our best to take this to the next level to make sure that this is a quality show that we have for everyone, that you won't be insulted by watching us, and it's a great chance you may have more brain cells after watching us than you did when you started.
Awesome. So I guess moving into this week, the only thing I really see push the wrong button. That's on my docket for right now, that you will probably see me at the second day, not the first day. And this is on our page, is the Local Creatives Meet and Greet, hosted by Unbound Artists Development Community, which is Audrey Johnson.
Oh, I know her.
Awesome friend of mine.
Okay. She's staying in my neighborhood.
Yep. in the same
big
area
house.
stuff. Yeah, she actually
All right.
is part of the artist community. She does a lot in the community. She takes in foreign exchange
Yeah,
students.
that's
She
right.
takes in artists for work to be able to live in one of those huge mansion rooms and to do an artistry program. But this is the way for you to get to meet us. It's the biopic, I believe that's what it is. So
Okay.
people of melanation. That's how I'm gonna say it.
Oh, okay. I never heard it said like that, but okay.
People of melanation that can come together and feel accepted, feel loved, feel that their creativity
Yeah.
or that their trauma that they do through their creativity is not too much. So the first meeting, there are 2 meetings. There'll be light refreshments, and the first one is November 2nd, this coming up Thursday, at the Entrepreneurs Club, 6 to 8, 222 Fassett Street on the east side of Toledo, Ohio. And the second one is November 5th, 3 to 5 p.m. That's this Sunday at the EBID Center, which is downtown across from the Lucas County Democratic Party.
Right.
And
Uptown Green.
Uptown Green. If you find the attic, just keep going to the next block, turn right, and you'll see it. They have a lot of stuff in there as part of the Pro Mafia complex. Anyway, but yeah, great place.
It is what it is.
1806 Madison. So if you want to show up to either one of them, the flyer is on our page. I made sure that I'll probably refresh. And then there is some other stuff coming up, but hopefully I'll see you at that on Sunday. Unfortunately, I can't be there Thursday for the first day, but hopefully you can be.
All right. Hey, listen, before we get to 5 minutes of heat, I wanted to just remind everyone, if you like what we do, subscribe to our YouTube page, like our post, all right? And really heart it if you can, all right? I don't know if we get stars or anything like that yet, but heart it, like it, share it, because we want everyone to know that the activist community is still alive and well in Toledo. We haven't gone anywhere. We report out every week regarding what's really important and what we think that you should take a look at. Also, next week is we're voting, right? So make sure you get out to vote. If you want to support what we do at CSRN, we'd like for you to support us via Cash App, hashtag CSRN 419, or if you're on PayPal, CSRN 419. We do not have a Venmo, and I hear a lot of people are using Venmo, but we don't have one.
I don't know. I think if people want to donate, because they can also go to the Toledo Urban Federal Credit Union and make a donation up there.
Okay, all right.
I think having too many outlets of too many bank accounts is never good. It's like having credit cards.
And you're the treasurer. All right. So, okay, we'll squash that idea. If you want to follow us on Instagram, Community Solidarity. We're on Facebook right now, streaming live on Facebook. If you want to listen to us, go to Spotify, Community Solidarity, and the rest should drop down. I'm thinking it does. All right. Our YouTube page is Community Solidarity. Type it in. The rest should drop down. And follow us on X. We haven't tweeted on X maybe in a while, but we want to start doing a bit more of that. So hopefully when Asa comes in next week, I may just give him the password. We'll see what happens. What's the worst that could happen with that? And as of right now, we're looking for 100,000 subscribers. And sometimes people say, well, it looks like you got like 30 subscribers. Well, that's when we screenshot it. All right. That was last year when we screenshot that. But we're looking for 100,000 subscribers to our YouTube page, to check out our podcast, to stay in tune with us. Jody, and I think there was one other thing that I forgot, but if I forgot it, we'll put it on for next week. All right.
The only other thing I could say is if you are interested in open mics, I go to a lot of different genres of open mics. So if it's something specific, let me know. Otherwise, if you say where the open mics is, you might get one that's out in the woods,
true,
one that's at a recovery place.
True.
One that is for domestic violence, and then one where we're slamming and talking about relationships and stuff, all in the same week. I do a lot. This week, Lifeline is back this Saturday, so if you're able to make that, and the Truth is having several events. I believe there was one today with Rochelle, and then there's a couple more coming up. So if you want to follow the Black Art Gallery / newspaper in Toledo, check them out. Truth Art Gallery, 7 Bancroft. Bancroft. Can't talk right now. I believe it is. So shout out to Nicola, shout out to Autumn, shout out to all of the people that are taking on the endeavor of moving locations from Adams to 7 Bancroft. So support them if you can when you have time. And that's it.
You know what? I wanted to mention that next week we're not going to be here. We want everybody to get out to vote. We don't normally put up signs and endorse people, but we found one of Randall Parker's signs just out there laying around. All right, we needed to make some space on our board back here, and Randall Parker, he was a real one even before he got elected to school board. And if he was doing this work before getting elected, you should consider that, brother. And also Sheena Barnes, but you got to write her in.
Make sure you write her in. Make sure you spell her name right. That is a lot of ways people lose votes too when they do write-ins. It's kind of, a shameful tactic to, you're not going to remember how to spell it. You may know how to say it, but if you spell it wrong, that is not a vote that's going to them. So
that's right. Oh, and for the write-in candidates, when you go to your polling location, ask for the write-in candidates. If you ask for the write-in candidates, if you're voting at the, I think it's at the Teamsters on City Park and South. All right, I think I'm located right there. If you come there, if you're voting there, just ask for the write-in candidates. I've got a little sheet of paper underneath my iPad. I'll let you see it so that you can see how the name is spelled. I'll give you a pencil so you can write it down. That way you will know the write-in candidates and their names. So you won't be able to get Sheena Barnes' name wrong. And the fact that we mentioned her, I should get some free pencils from her. All right. I don't know if she give away, I don't know if they give away apples like the teachers or.
I'm not even gonna make any comments on that. But
all right,
if you are on the east side in the nickel, as we like to call it, you will find me at Wake doing exactly the same thing.
That's
I can't sway your images no matter what I look like on this side. The moment I get there Monday, get sworn in and take my oath, that's what I abide by.
All right. All right. So for 5 minutes of heat, which is something that we created, we wanted to find a different way to end our meetings rather than just saying meeting adjourned and slamming a gavel, which I know we wouldn't have because I've been to court too many times. I'll be damned.
We got a bullhorn.
I'll be damned if I'm gonna bring a gavel to my meeting. Dad cut it. All right. Might as well bring the police. But so we wanted to do something different. We wanted to add creative expression to what we're doing. We came up with 5 minutes of heat, and Jody has been our resident 5 minutes of heat person, but you are going to reach out to some of the local artists.
I have been.
All right.
I try and do that a lot, but as I've learned through my career, you can only inform people so many times.
Okay.
And then it's begging.
That's right. It's a thin line.
I don't like begging people.
It's a thin line. All right. Yes, sir.
For those of you that might have wanted to know what I am astrologically and all that stuff like that. But I'm an Aries. So I don't like begging.
Okay. All right.
It's not in my nature. But I will inform you as many times as I can. Actually, going on my farewell tour next year is a cutting back of the doors that I've just left wide open and constantly trying to point a flashing sign to them. It's just like, hey, go back on my page. It's there, stuff like that. But this piece is called Outlet. I wrote this somewhere last week. I'm not exactly sure where, but it was a kind of, it's not the last poem in the next book, number 17 I'm writing. But it is like a segue because I'm always writing something. I'm always either editing or doing something on some page. I run 865 groups and like 26 pages. So you probably have heard this in my voice at some point at some time. But this would also be more attuned to what I sound like in Clown X. So if you want to know what Sage sounds like and you haven't yet seen the trailer, my written or spoken performance is more of my natural voice. Performance is a little different. We get louder. But let's begin. Peace. Outlet. Sometimes I just want to play a little toxicity on the algorithm, but I ain't that person anymore. There's nothing for me on the other side of that fence but the person I'm not anymore. I got life things to do. An oath that I gave to my manifesting of breaking these generational curses, letting people know that there's at least one person out there who is still genuine, doing my damnedest not to fall into the trap of I need some attention, because honestly, I don't. It's quiet over here. Yeah, a little bit lonely, but at least I'm building without someone drilling holes in my boat. When I think of all the years I spent trying to drag others with me, only holding myself back, I really get upset with myself. Because even though I know this would lead to nowhere, it was excitement for the moment. And I really didn't have a purpose for myself. So I took advantage of whatever was in front of me. Now I just got to remember to leave it all behind me and stop looking back, so I don't crash into the things I'm supposed to avoid, distracted by the things that could have been. It looks nice on the screen, but in real life, it's hell, because when the lights go off and you're the only power source, you get drained really quickly trying to provide everyone else with some help. In peace.
And as always, we snap our fingers. Jody, I want to thank you. Another great podcast, family. So make sure you like, subscribe to our
comment.
Right. You can comment in the chat. Let us know. And if they want to stop by on a Tuesday,
they're more than welcome to. If you
yeah,
got a
stop by and sit in
10, 15, 30-second commercial you want to shoot our way and have us promote to our audience and stuff like that, let us know. We're very appreciative over here for everyone that sees us.
Right. And don't forget to vote. And you see our sign, Black Voters Matter. We don't have a song yet. We're working on that. But as always, Jody, all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. And Black lives can't matter until
all Black lives matter.
Justice or else.
Issue 2.